state witness in the Joshlin Smith kidnapping trial will continue to give testimony today. Yesterday, Laurentia Lombard told the Western Cape High Court sitting in Saldanha Bay about her relationship with the missing girl's mother. Lombard is a key figure in this trial after accused Stefano van Rijn placed her at their house on the day Joshlin disappeared. Let's now recap from our reporter, Nasiphi, who's been closely following the proceedings for us. Nasiphi, very good morning to you. It is, some have said, the star witness for the state, a witness 204. Tell us about the opening remarks and what she had to say about the day that Joshlin Smith disappeared.
Thank you so much, Aldrin. But just to correct you there, in the plea explanations that we heard last week, it was the plea explanation from accused one, who is Jacqueline Apollos, also known as Buta, who was the one that actually placed Laurentia Lombard at the house, omitting, according to police officers, omitting that accused two, Stefano van Rijn, was also at the house the day Joshlin disappeared. And that is what we heard last week from the law enforcement agencies, or officers rather, that were part of this investigation. It's in its initial stages. And yesterday, as you put it, the star witness of the state, rather, Laurentia Lombard, if you remember, last year she was a co-accused alongside the mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Jacqueline Apollos, including Stefano van Rijn, and she, or rather charges were withdrawn against her in the lower courts in exchange for her to turn state witness. And yesterday we heard her, starting her testimony, evidence in chief rather, as to how she met or how she got to know the couple, including accused two. However, we also had an opportunity to speak to the NPA to explain to us the process of a Section 204 witness, in other words known as a state witness. And speaking to Eric Dabazalila yesterday, let's take a listen to what he had to say.
But the most important witness of ours was our 204 witness, which is Mrs. Laurentia Lombard, who was a co-accused in this matter, but she became a 204 witness and agreed to assist in this case, to testify about, against the co-accused. The court explained to her what it means to be a 204 witness, and that she may be, if the court is not happy with her testimony or did not testify truthfully, the court may not grant the indemnity in prosecution.
Well, Nasiphi, then, of course, then she took to the stand. Tell us about her opening remarks.
Well, we got a brief view as to who Laurentia Lombard is, apart from the fact that she has 4 children. 2 of those children living in Woolsley, in the Western Cape, and Worcester, and her youngest living in 2 youngest children living in the Eastern Cape with their father. She also detailed to us how she got to know the 2 accused, that is the couple, Kelly, including Jacqueline Apollos, describing them as friends. However, with accused 2, she said she didn't really know him much. She has only known him for about 6 to 7 months. And taking to the stand yesterday, much anticipated testimony where we had a gallery full of the residents of Saldanha Bay, waiting to hear what she has to say as far as the trial into the kidnapping and human trafficking trial of Joshlin Smith, who we now know has been missing for over a year. Laurentia Lombard, this is what she had to say when she took the stand yesterday as a state witness.
Die zondagochtend het ek opgestaan. Het ek my huiswerk gedoen by die huis. En verder aan het ek kos gemaak vir my kinders en vir Janda. Verder aan het ek omgegaan na Kelly se huis, ek my kinders saamgevat. En verder aan sien ek oor kan die kanaal staan 'n sweerde bakkie, 'n bakkie in 'n
And then earlier this week as well, Nasiphi, we saw that some people said, geez, the information that was coming out of that testimony from Nico Stephen Coetzee really blew a lot of people away, considering the amount that he said that Kelly Smith allegedly wanted. Tell us more about his testimony.
Indeed, Aldrin, but before we go into that, just to piggyback on what Laurentia said yesterday, if you remember earlier on in the week where we spoke about a female, according to the lower courts, that emerged from a white vehicle, we heard Laurentia's testimony yesterday, starting off the day before Joshlin disappeared, which is the 19th, or the 18th rather, the Sunday, the 18th of February. She says she walked over to Kelly's house and she noticed a white bakkie, and today hopefully we'll be able to hear why she felt it necessary to mention this in court. But again, going back to last year in the Vredenburg Magistrate Court, lower courts, we heard from the court, from the state, that Kelly the day before met a woman who emerged from a white vehicle, and that evening we also understand that she went to see this woman going with Joshlin, and we understand that monies were exchanged. Kelly, including Joshlin, returned home that evening. So hopefully today we'll be able to hear that chief evidence by Laurentia Lombard. And we also heard yesterday that her testimony will not be interrupted, will not be taking our usual 1 o'clock tea time adjournment. She will be, giving her testimony until 1 o'clock. We know that next week the defense will have an opportunity to interrogate that evidence in chief. But going back to Stephen Coetzee, another key individual that took the stand this week was Stephen Coetzee, who detailed to us a conversation that he had with Kelly in the morning of 2023, where he allegedly says, or rather where he said that Kelly told him that she had a plan for her children. Let's take a listen to what Stephen Coetzee had to say on Wednesday.
As hulle hierdie keer kom en hulle het nie die volle bedrag van R20,000 gaan sy tevrede wees met R5,000.
So that was Stephen Coetzee, who was telling us that that morning he had met Kelly, who indicated to him that should the people that she's been waiting for come this time around, as much as there was an agreement to sell her children for 20,000 rand, she would be willing to accept even a 5,000 rand. And later on, that very same morning, we heard the testimony of Edna Mart, the grade 1 teacher of Joshlin Smith, who detailed to the court a conversation that she had with the mother of Joshlin Smith days after the disappearance of Joshlin, where Kelly told the teacher confidential information, according to her, in a very soft tone, that she had received a phone call from a Nigerian man who told her, and I quote, to play quickly, and that her child Joshlin was currently in a container and in a ship heading to or en route to West Africa. But before she left, or before she disappeared, the teacher said she reminded her that Buta, accused one, Jacqueline Apollos, was innocent. But this goes back to, again, last year, the conversations that were had with a former police minister, Bheki Cele, who said they were working with an international organization, or they worked with an international organization to search a vessel that had left Saldanha Bay just within that period of the disappearance of Joshlin Smith, that docked in Europe. However, from what he had communicated to the media at the time, there was no trace of Joshlin. Remember, Aldrin, that as much as we're currently sitting at the Western Cape High Court hearing the trial into the disappearance of Joshlin Smith, the investigation still continues because police are yet to locate the missing girl more than a year later.
Thank you so much, Nasiphi Same there, joining us from the White City Multipurpose Center in Saldanha Bay, which has been proclaimed a high court, of course. And today will mark the end of the second week of this trial. 2 more weeks to go up until the 28th of March.